Okay, quick fire. So I'm going to say a short statement. You give me your immediate thoughts. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so what tactics in growth have not changed over the last 5 years?
I think the core investments of top of funnel acquisition, onboarding, and conversion and monetization, those three areas have remained very consistent over time.
What tactics have totally died a death? No more. À la poubelle.
Referral programs. They still exist, but you probably haven't seen one in a while. Or if you have, you probably haven't referred someone in a while. The $10 credit for referring a friend seems to be a little outdated.
What one piece of advice would you give to a growth leader starting a new role today? You're calling them up the night before their first job.
I would give 3 months to just learn, study the business, understand what data you have, talk to customers, attend a sales conversation, learn from folks at the company around what they've tried and what's worked and what hasn't worked, because every customer base is different and it's easy to have bias from the customers that you've worked with in your previous job.
What is the biggest challenge about layering on a sales assisted motion to an existing PLG motion?
At some point, the two motions will compete. So a dollar earned through a freemium or self-serve motion from PLG may be a trade-off against $2 or $5 earned through closing a contract in a sales-assisted motion. And it's very important to be explicit about those two motions working in concert and to make the right trade for the business overall.
Is it fair that sales reps get comped with sales commissions and PLG don't?
It's a good question. I think it can be harder to predictably deliver numbers while managing product changes rather than working a book as a sales rep. But the question comes up a lot. And I would be curious actually to learn if there's anyone out there who's done more of a variable comp structure for growth that I could learn about.
Yeah. If you could be in any other growth team in the world, hypothetically for a day, just out of curiosity, like fly on the wall, where would you be?
You know, I always have admired the Pinterest growth organization from its earlier days through. And I actually don't know a whole lot about the specific stuff they've built on the inside.
No, I totally agree. They've actually got an amazing growth alumni that have come out of it. By the way, the Dropbox alumni is the best I've ever seen. When you look at, also they've turned into investors as well. Most investors actually worked at Dropbox, which is terrifying. But I want to ask one, which is, you've seen incredible trends in the productivity space. What are the biggest trends in the productivity space, having seen two of the best internally?
In general, I feel like over the past 5 to 7 years, this idea of collaboration by default or a more multiplayer use of a tool has become much more commonplace. So if you think about some of the productivity tools that were more for individual note-taking or private note-taking that were more popular 5-7 years ago, something like Bear, that's a lot less common now. I think that trend is going to stay, that our tools will become even more multiplayer and that actually building a product experience that helps you maintain a private space and also engage with others will be really important.
Final one. Which one company growth strategy recently have you been really impressed by, where you're like, ooh, that's smart, I like that?
I think Figma did a really great job with the launch of FigJam. It was smart feature development to bring in a different section of the market with a product that plays very nicely with their core offering.